Revenge films.
My name is Sean. I work in an office, and my wife, Beth, is a housewife. We've been married for a year and don't have kids yet. We just finished building our new home. My job keeps me busy with lots of overtime, but I was grateful for the work. It helped with our mortgage. Still, I felt guilty leaving most of the housework to Beth. I tried to help out at home when I could, but I left the cooking to her. With a new house and a mortgage, we avoided eating out, and Beth had told me,
I'm good at cooking.
That night, I left work around 8 p.m. and got off at the station near our house. As I walked home, I noticed a crowd gathering. Several fire trucks and police cars were parked nearby. Officers were on site, but what really caught my eye was the number of bystanders. Don't these people have dinner to get to? Must have a lot of time on their hands. I thought absent-mindedly as I walked toward the center of the commotion. There are fire trucks. Is this a fire? Then I saw it. It was a fire, and it was my house that was burning. I didn't know what to think. The fire was nearly out, and I was able to get close. The place was a wreck. Our brand new house, completely charred. We'd only been living there for a month. The mortgage had barely started. I dropped to my knees in shock. Then I saw my wife, Beth. She stood frozen, staring blankly at the destruction. Thank God she's okay. She must have been home at the time, but at least she's safe. I ran up to her. What the hell happened? Was it arson? And why didn't you call me? The fire must have started a while ago. I fired off question after question, but she just stood there completely dazed, not saying a word. I had no choice but to ask one of the police officers nearby. Hey, excuse me, what happened here? The officer replied, Your wife accidentally started the fire. It was her carelessness. What? I looked over. Beth was right there, well within earshot, but she didn't react. No explanation, no apology, nothing, just silence. Most people would at least say something in a situation like this, wouldn't they? I booked a hotel room for us, just a double. As we walked there together, I could feel the stares from the neighbors. It was unbearable. Beth still hadn't said a word. Her silence creeped me out. What the hell is wrong with her? Did she really do this? Has she lost it? What if she starts another fire with me in the house next time? Paranoia flooded my brain. When we finally got to the hotel room and it was just the two of us, Beth suddenly broke down and became unusually talkative.
I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. It was all my fault the house burned down.
She bowed her head repeatedly, and I asked her, Then why didn't you say anything earlier? She replied,
I mean, if people found out I was the one who burned down the house, it would be so humiliating, so I just kept quiet. I only explained it to the police, and I told them not to say anything.
I was speechless. So, let me get this straight. To protect your reputation, you didn't contact me, didn't explain anything to me, and stayed totally silent until just now? She fired back.
Don't say it like that. If people knew your wife burned the house down, they'd judge you too. I was thinking about us. I did it to protect our image, to protect our household.
Her reasoning infuriated me, but I still wanted to know more about what had really happened, so I asked, So what was the cause? You don't smoke, and it takes more than just a little carelessness to start a fire like that. Beth looked hesitant, then finally admitted,
Well, I was trying to make fried chicken. For you. You love fried chicken, fries, all of it, right? So I poured in a lot of oil and
Of course, fried chicken was one of my favorites. It was one of her favorites, too, especially when it was freshly made. Beth hated reheating things in the microwave. Actually, I'd even suggested once. You know, the fried stuff they sell at convenience stores these days is pretty good. Or even frozen stuff. Just throw it in the oven. But Beth shot that idea down instantly.
I'm not feeding you crappy food,
she'd said stubbornly. Honestly, I think she just didn't want to eat it herself. Now she'd explained the basic cause, but it still felt like she wasn't telling the whole story. So I pressed her. Even if frying's not your strong suit, how the hell do you let it go so far that the entire house burns down?
Well, I had some time while the oil was heating, so I figured I'd check social media for a bit on my phone.
Wait, are you telling me you walked away from a pot of hot oil on the stove? I asked, stunned.
It was just for a second. I went to the bathroom to grab my phone, and right then a friend messaged me. I didn't want to seem rude by not replying right away, so we kept chatting, and I kind of forgot I was heating oil.
You forgot? Even a kid knows not to leave hot oil unattended.
It was just a string of bad luck, that's all. My friend texted saying she's nearby and wanted to meet up. So I left the house, and if she hadn't messaged me at that exact moment, none of this would have happened.
Beth was desperate to shift the blame onto the oil, her phone, even her friend, anyone but herself.
When I got back to the house, it was already too late.
Beth said, like she was the victim in all of this.
Smoke was pouring out through the cracks in the front door. I couldn't even get inside. So I ran around to the back and looked through the window. And by then, the whole place was just engulfed in flames.
Well, of course it was. Enough time had passed for it to get that bad.
What did you expect me to do, huh? Charge into a burning kitchen and try to put out the fire myself? Risk getting burned all over?
I never said that. Beth told me she completely froze when she saw the house burning. She stood there in shock for who knows how long before she finally came to her senses and called the fire department. Thankfully, no one was hurt. That was a relief, and the fire didn't spread to any of the neighboring houses. That was pure luck. Honestly, I was furious. Our brand new home burned down because of this. But I could also tell Beth hadn't done it on purpose. Yelling at her isn't going to rebuild our house. We had barely started living in that place. Now it was gone. All I felt was emptiness. The anger was still there, but even that started to fade. Then Beth said something that made my blood boil.
As husband and wife, we have to stick together, especially in times like this. We need to face this adversity as a team, you know?
Oh, give me a break. You're the one who created this adversity. I snapped at her, but deep down I knew stewing in anger wouldn't fix anything. I'd said enough already. It was time to start thinking constructively. Maybe I was being too lenient, but I decided to forgive her this time. What mattered now was making sure this never happened again, so I came up with 3 rules. 1, we'd buy a fire extinguisher and keep it right by the kitchen. 2, no using phones while cooking, ever. 3, no more deep frying, period. Beth protested the 3rd one, but in the end, we compromised and bought an electric air fryer with safety features. No open flame, little to no oil. Even if she got distracted, it wouldn't be dangerous. Hopefully, that would be enough. I told both my parents and in-laws about the fire. My in-laws, of course, didn't blame Beth. She was their daughter, after all. In fact, they insisted Beth can do anything if she puts her mind to it and refused to hear otherwise. Worse yet, they actually said the husband should have been paying closer attention too. She was cooking for him, so he shares the blame. Unbelievable. Then they shot down every single precaution I suggested. fire extinguisher, safety plan, all of it. They said that's unnecessary. They completely dismissed my concerns about safety, so I made the decision to move out. 2 nights later, their house, Beth's childhood home, caught fire. In fact, half of it burned down. The cause? It was Beth's fried food. Again! She told them,
Last night's air-fried chicken was gross. I wanted to fry it the real way this time.
that was her motive. At that point, I was done. You're clearly not right in the head. I'm genuinely scared for my life, so I'm filing for divorce. And so I did, immediately. From what I've heard, my ex-wife and her parents are still living in the half-burned house. Apparently, lightning strikes twice wasn't enough for them. I wouldn't be surprised if it struck a third time. Her doting parents, who always let her off the hook, now live in fear that she'll burn the rest of the place down. The three of them argue constantly, and since one of the walls is missing, the neighbors can hear their shouting loud and clear.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.